That's it. There are no other preachers, there are no other hermeneutical spectacles, there are no other interrogative theological points that we can surmise from the text. There's nothing else we can employ to it homiletically that will make it mean something other than what is simply being stated. There's no amount of commentary that the scholar can subscribe to or suggest for it. It simply says, call on me. What does it mean? What does it mean for one to call on him? Well, first of all, we understand that this word came to Jeremiah. Not only did it come to Jeremiah, but it's continuously coming by way of Rhema word to each and every individual sitting in this place. You understand, Jeremiah was a prophet of God whom God had called at the ripe years of 8 years old to preach, to proclaim the impending bondages and the desolation that Israel and vicinity would have to be subjected to, but the restoration that they would also undergo. God required some things of Jeremiah and went through some things with Jeremiah because Jeremiah was a soft-hearted individual. He really did not understand all of the things that went on in his day. He did not understand why God called him at such a ripe age of 8 years old. He didn't understand why God was using him instead of using someone else. He didn't understand why God used him to prophesy to the very people and the very province that he lived with and lived in. He didn't understand why God even forbid him to marry. He didn't understand why at the end of his days he was sent to Egypt to die. He didn't understand why he had to prophesy destruction, doom, despair, disaster. He didn't understand why he had to talk about repentance and the sins of the people. He didn't understand why he was called to talk about the wrath and judgment of God and the fierce anger of God against the people of God. He did not understand many things, and I tell you, a lot of us in this place, a lot of people who listen to me by radio don't understand their lives, their lot in life, their situations in life, the circumstances they go through in life. A lot of them are just like Jeremiah. A lot of us are just like Jeremiah. We got question marks all over the pages of our historical life. We've got question marks on our finances, question marks on our faith, question marks on our disposition. We've got question marks on our families. We've got question marks on our jobs, our friends, our schools, our work, our play. We've got question marks that we still don't understand. We've got questions we've still asked that still hadn't been employed by an answer. We've got all kinds of things, just like Jeremiah. Jeremiah, though he gave us many great prophetic words. He is responsible, my brothers and my sisters, for having given to us some great theological truth that we have put our feet in, that we've cut our teeth on, that has been used to get us through some difficult times in our personal lives. Yes, though Jeremiah was used greatly by God to give us such a profound poetic piece of prophecy, though he was used by God to talk about the many impending things that God hopes to do, wants to do, desires to do for his people, while at the same time giving us the barrel, the bottom of the pits of those things, Jeremiah still had some questions in his book. He still had a litany of reproaches, a litany of aggravations and frustrations. He still had a litany of things that he did not quite understand about God, about man, about the earth, about life, about everything that he found himself in. On one occasion, Jeremiah went to God, and I've talked about it. He had a problem with why the wicked was prospering over and above the righteous. Another time, he went to God once, and he was mad because all his life he had heard that this great Jehovah is Jireh, the Elohim, the El Shaddai, who wins every battle, who loses not a patient. He had heard that this great, awesome, horrific, and esteemed figure that has been revered as God of the universe never lost, never was defeated. He heard that this God was able to do the impossible. That this God was able to do mighty, mighty miracles. But yet, the talk about this God didn't match what Jeremiah was looking at in his land. So he said, if there is a balm in Gilead, if there is a physician there to heal the sin-sick soul, why then are not the health of the daughter of my people recovered? If there is a balm in Gilead, if there is a doctor, why then are the people still sick? If there is such power, why aren't we witnessing the results? And Jeremiah argued with God on this point because what he was looking at, Shumpert, did not match what he was hearing. Sometimes in life, what you behold is not what you are hearing. There will be an interesting dichotomy of a difference of what you see and what you hear. The two won't jive, they won't gel, they won't mesh, they won't mix, they won't match. And you'll find yourself wondering, why is it that this is what I hear, this is what I read, but this is what I see? Jeremiah had lots of, you might call this the question mark book, because there were a lot of questions that this prophet posed. So much so that in chapter 20, verse number 9, Sister Sherman, Jeremiah got fed up. He said, I'm tired of this stuff. He said, I quit. You want me to prophesy? Go find somebody else. I quit. Too many questions have gone unanswered. I quit. I don't understand why. I don't know why. I don't feel why. I hadn't been taught why. I quit. I will not make any mention of him anymore. I will not preach his name anymore. I won't proclaim his word. The word of the Lord came to Jeremiah the second time. Maybe he didn't receive it the first time. Maybe he wasn't in position to hear it the first time. Maybe the situations confronting him did not provide him the right kind of flavor to accept it the first time. Maybe he was facing some personal issues the first time. Maybe his finances were a little funny the first. Maybe his family was talking about him the first. Maybe he was out of place the first. Maybe his church was maybe the first time. Is there anybody in here that it took more than one time? Oh, don't get holy on me. Is there anybody in the building who can say yes without apology?